I want to say tire rod just to make you guys mad, but you put the next bearing in. Don't forget the spacer. G'day folks, it's DIY Guy 123 here, bringing you another do-it-yourself video. Today we've got a RHINO 700, and this one has a really rattly front right-hand side wheel. I had hoped that it was just the wheel nuts loose, but it's not, and in fact it's a bad bearing, and I'm going to show you how to diagnose that. One of the symptoms is that the brake pedal is super soft. When you press the brake pedal, it goes right to the floor and there's hardly any braking force. I suspect that is because the wheel bearing is so bad that the weight of the vehicle is causing the wheel and the wheel bearing and therefore the brake caliper to twist, and that's pushing the brake pads back or pushing the piston back in, so that there's never really, even though the brake pedal is pushing on the piston, you probably never really get any gripping force from the pads to the caliper. So I'm gonna fix the wheel bearing and then see if the brake issue goes away. We'll see. Okay, so sometimes wheel bearings, it's hard to tell which one's the bad one, but not today. It's pretty easy to see. I've got the weight off of the ground. Clearly the bearing that's bad. And you see that racking of the disc, that's what makes me think it's pushing back on the brake piston. So you notice the nut here is folded over onto a divot in the axle. That's to prevent the nut from backing off. So we're going to take a punch and open that up. And then we're going to take off the cotter pins here and down below, the upper and lower ball joint, and we'll get those off. This one is loose. They're not always like that. Okay, so I've got the cotter pins out of the tie rod, the lower ball joint, the upper ball joint. They're 19 mil nuts. To get that tie rod off, I want to say tire rod just to make you guys mad, but anyway, tie rod. You don't just want to pry up here because it'll potentially pop the ball out of the socket. Give it a few taps from the side, and then this is what happens. So that just swings out of the way. Take the brake caliper off. Unlike a car brake caliper that's really heavy, this one's not. Don't super recommend leaving all the weight on it, but ball joint separator. If you don't have one of these, you know, you can really come onto it with a hammer while you've got a bit of a pry on the ball joint. It'll probably pop right off for you. Get the nut off there the rest of the way. Joint will pop out of there. As I take this nut off, the whole thing's going to fall, so we have to be a little careful with that. Okay, let's just put that brake caliper up there. Do not press the brake pedal while that is off. So what we have is a bearing, but protecting that is a seal, and the kit came with 3 seals, and you need 2. So what you need to do is take special attention to what seals, what the shape of the seal is on the outer side, and then seal on the inner side. Pick them out of your kit. You can pry the seal out with a screwdriver like this driver. You can use the real deal, a seal remover. That's what this is. And then you see a bearing there. It looks like you can just drive these bearings through, but you can't. You have to extract the bearing this way. That seal that I had taken out protects a bearing, and you have to drive it down like this. I can't just drive this bearing down. I have to go underneath and drive the lowest bearing, the one closest to the floor. That's the one I have to drive down first. So this is going to be difficult. So I got the inner race out, and then as soon as I did that, the bearing outer race didn't come with it. The inner race came out, the carrier with the retainer with the balls come out. Here's the spacer that must go back in, so don't forget that. Put that on top of your seals, so when you go to put them back in, you won't lose them. And now the inner race is still there, but I get access to this other bearing, which hopefully its outer race will come out. We'll see. When the kids are tired and want to go to bed, the parents come out to play. I'm having to break the race out. There's a piece of the race that came out there. You'd think that that little bit there would not be enough to hold the whole thing in, but it's still fighting. So I'm going to try and get another piece off it somewhere else. But anyway, it's coming. It would be pretty hard with a hammer and chisel. There's a piece of the race that broke off. I think this is an aluminum knuckle, so I shouldn't have to heat it too crazy. There's that one. So after we get the bearings out, gonna hit it with wire wheel. Clean that inner bore so that the new bearings press in there nicely. That air hammer didn't damage the outer bore here. Putting the new bearing back in, I've put anti-seize on the race so that the next time these should come out easily, if there is a next time. They actually push in pretty easy with a vise, and so I've just got another old bearing race from another bearing right here. You want to check to make sure that's lined up nicely. I got a different size inner race which fits beautifully there, and that just pushes in, and I just felt the bottom out, so there's once it bottoms out, that's it. You don't crank it any tighter. You put the next bearing in. Don't forget the spacer. Throw that guy in there, spacer in. That's already anti-seized on there. Okay. You want to keep checking that spacer because you don't want to pinch it with the new bearing that you're pushing in. Kind of falling down. And that's it. That's bottomed out. So those are installed. Now to get those seals in, it's a bit more of a delicate affair.